Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is the kickoff to my Pride Month of Reviews, the second annual series in which I invite guests across the YouTube spectrum to join me in celebrating Pride Month as we review and revisit some of the most influential LGBTQIA plus films throughout history. Now, as it stands, I am still not reviewing any films that I have reviewed here on the channel already. So if you're looking for reviews for films such as Call Me By Your Name or Moonlight, Carol, Love, Simon, I'm making a Pride playlist, and all of my individual reviews for those films will be included. So to kick off this year's Pride Month of reviews, I'm so excited for my first guest to join me in talking about Bound, a 1996 neo-noir thriller starring Jennifer Tilly from the Wachowski sisters, a film I had never seen until this series. But I'm really excited to have Stephanie from Movie Chatter here on the channel. She's become a great, really supportive friend, has a wonderful channel where she discusses and shares her experiences with film in such an authentic and beautiful way. So as always, guests go first here on the channel, so take it away and give us your review of Bound, Stephanie.
Hello movie friends, my name is Stephanie, and I would like to thank Larry so much for inviting me here today to be part of his June Pride LGBTQ movie review series where we celebrate movies that embrace the LGBTQ community. Because whether you know or you didn't know, June is Pride Month, so what better time to celebrate movies that celebrate us. And the movie that I have been given to talk to you about is 1996's Bound. And this is a great movie, and it stars Gina Gershon, Jennifer Tilly, and Joe Pantoliano, who you probably remember best as Ralph Cifaretto, whose head, he was on The Sopranos, and his head ended up in a bowling ball bag. So if you don't know who he is, that's your reference. Anyway, this is a terrific film, and we start out and we meet Joe Pantoliano's character is Caesar, and Caesar is a gangster, and he has a live-in girlfriend, Violet, Jennifer Tilly, and they live in this big, beautiful apartment. It's a gorgeous apartment, and they are very, obviously, well-to-do. And next door is a vacant apartment, and that is where Gina Gershon, who her character's name is Corky, she's an ex-con, and she's been hired by the owner of the apartment to fix it up and do some work over there while he is away in India. He's gone to India, he's taken all his things, everything's gone, and she's just supposed to be doing jobs around the apartment. So they have a shared wall, and she can hear everything that's going on in the next apartment, and she's doing her best not to pay attention, but she hears it. And they have this moment, in the beginning of the movie, there's a moment when the three of them are in an elevator, and you can just feel the sexual tension between Violet and Corky. You could just cut it with a knife. They're checking each other out, they're, little glances up and down, the whole deal. And conveniently, because Corky is working right next door, Violet makes an excuse to come over and introduce herself, bring some coffee, and get to know each other. And on we go. There's different back and forths, different reasons to invite Corky over to get it was either an earring or I think it was an earring out of the drain, anything to get her over into the house. So they strike up this friendship, which of course it's going to lead to an affair. And they have this affair going on, and Corky kind of starts to pick around and ask Violet, what is Caesar involved in? She's like, he kind of seems like he would be in the mafia. And she admits that, Caesar's involved with some bad people, and, she kind of stays out of that. She doesn't ask any questions, but come to find out, Caesar is going to be coming into about $2 million that he is going to have to basically babysit until someone else comes to pick it up. And Violet has a plan that she wants Corky, who has a background as being a thief, she wants Corky to help her steal this money. That is the basic premise of this whole movie. Now, the thing about this movie is it has a lot of moving parts. It has a lot of different people. For a simple premise, it has a lot of moving parts, and you never really know who is being upfront and who is going to screw who over, for lack of a better term. But it really keeps you guessing right up until the last frame, and that's what I really love about this movie. That's one of the things that I really love about this movie, is that it just, the story just sucks you in, and you're so involved, and you're trying to figure out, who's playing the game and who is being on the up and up, and you really don't know. And it becomes quickly obvious that Violet and Corky, they have no idea if they can trust each other or not, because of past conversations they've had and things that have happened. I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but so when it comes down to this money, they hatch this plan, and it means that both of them have to be totally honest about their part in it, or people could end up with, bodies flying out the window. But I recently rewatched this, and I can tell you a few things about it. This is a newer transfer. I think it's a new transfer, but it's definitely a new edition. It was picked up by Olive Signature, and I can tell you that the one thing that I noticed before anything is that this movie, for being 23 years old, it does not feel like a movie that is a 23-year-old movie. It really holds up over time, because everything they had them wearing and doing, and all the, accessories around the house and pictures and whatnot, nothing seems to have aged. It was all very neutral. The outfits were neutral. The conversations were, everything was very, very, not really time sensitive. So the only thing that was really missing were cell phones. But I was so involved in the story, I didn't even pick up on that until later. I was like, oh, the only thing that was missing was a cell phone. But everything else, it felt like a brand new movie. And the story is so engaging that you just almost forget about the fact that you have two characters that are a lesbian couple that are your lead characters. And in 1996, this just wasn't done. Up until this time, we had movies where there were inferences, or maybe we were left to think, oh, like Thelma and Louise, oh yeah, sure, they were definitely together. But, they die at the end, and we have films like Fried Green Tomatoes, and it's kind of inferred that they were together, but you never really see anything. But this, it was full on. You have two mainstream actresses having full on graphic sex scenes, and I mean, they get to it. And this was definitely a groundbreaking film, and it says it. That's the first line on the back. It says, a groundbreaking work of LGBTQ cinema. And that really sums it up, because they really took a chance with this one. And I don't know if it paid off financially, because opening weekend, now we're talking 1996, their opening weekend was $900,000. And to give a comparison, that same year, 1996, Scream also opened. And Scream opened to $6.3 million on its opening weekend. So you can see how the financial losses or gains would change with the movie content. But this was definitely groundbreaking. It's definitely good. It will hold your attention. I implore you to go out and check this out. If you have not seen it yet, it is such a great story. Forget the fact that you have these, this lesbian lead couple. Just everything about it, and the whole gangster thing, and the money, and the heist, and everything they do is just, it's really, really good. It's a good story. Now, as for the interactions between the two main characters, between Corky and Violet, I found a little bit of it to be, some of the conversations were a little cliche, and there's a point when Corky goes into a women's bar and they show different women in the bar. It's kind of what you would expect to see if you walked into a lesbian bar in 1996. But again, that's to be expected, because I'm sure they had consultants on the film. But, the fact that they even took a chance on having these mainstream women playing the main characters in a film that was going to be up on the big screen is huge. And I think these are the kind of films that got the ball rolling for what we see today, with like a Love, Simon, which opened to, I think, 11 million on its opening weekend. So you see, we've come a long way. But these are the types of films that started it. So if you haven't seen Bound, I highly recommend it. And I'm telling you, it's going to keep you guessing until the very last frame. And even then, you're going to be like, I wonder what really happened after, whoever gets out of there. But yeah, and this is a really good addition. I'll show you real quick. Comes in a slip box. It has the girls on the back there. Hopefully that'll focus. And you have nice front cover art. And then again, you have the nice clear case. Same stuff on the front and the back. Front, back, and spine. And so you definitely get your money's worth with this. And it's available right on Amazon. Now, it has a little essay book. I always tell everybody, don't read the essay books before you watch the movie, because sometimes they're full of spoilers that you really don't want to have. And you want to watch the movie to see how it plays out. So avoid the essay book until the end, but then definitely read it. You have a really plain, plain, still with the red and white disc, no disc art, and then you have some pretty cool interior artwork, and that's what you get. They also still have the plain Blu-ray, but I would definitely go with this because I think it's an uptick picture. I think they probably did a refresh on the scan. Maybe it's a 2K scan or something like that. But yeah, if you haven't seen Bound, I highly suggest it. It is groundbreaking. It is engaging. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be happy that you saw it. And like I said, and if you've seen it and you haven't purchased it yet, go ahead and give it a buy, because all these films, we pour the money into it because we want them to keep making more that represent the community. So that is my review of Bound. I would say I would give it a 4 out of 5 if I had to put it on a scale. I don't usually do the scale things, but today I'll do it. I'm living on the edge today. So I'm going to go with a strong 4 out of 5 for this one. Took a little point off because like I said, some of the conversations were a little cliche, but other than that, I think they hit the mark on everything. So I want to thank you guys for listening and hanging in there with me. And I want to thank Larry so much for inviting me. It's an honor for me to be invited to anyone's channel to do any type of review or have any type of input. And I'm a big fan of Larry, so I want to see his channel go. I want to just see it soar because he deserves it. He works hard. So thank you again, and hopefully I'll see you over on my channel. And for me today, that's going to do it. So as I always say, that's a wrap.
So again, thank you so much, Stephanie from Movie Chatter, for joining me here on the channel to discuss Bound. If you're not already, make sure you check out her channel. The link will be in the description down below, as well as her social media. She is wonderful. Subscribe, watch her content, and make sure to give her some Pride love. So now, for my views on the film. As I said in my opening, I had actually never seen the film Bound before, but I love Jennifer Tilly, just love Jennifer Tilly. So naturally I was excited. Plus, what a great film to watch for Pride. Not only does it deal with the lesbian relationship, it's also directed, the directorial debut from the Wachowski sisters, two open, publicly transgender women directors. So I was excited to check Bound out, see what it was all about. And I have to say, this was right up my alley. This is the kind of film I just enjoy watching. First off, because it has just the right amount of camp. The acting is a little bit over the top, a little bit campy for what it's going for. The romance is a little bit campy, but a lot of it sensual. But especially in the first act of this film, I think the actors are fully aware, the directors are fully aware, the writing is aware, everyone is aware of having fun here and letting it be a little bit campy and not just going to straight up Cinemax porn. Gina Gershon, I thought in particular, was actually really good in the movie. I really enjoy her performance, and she has a nice swagger to her. Jennifer Tilly is a bit more one note, but again, I just love her so much. And honestly, I think they had a really fun chemistry in this romance that they share in the film. I believed it, and I thought it was really great. But then we delve into this neo-noir type of thriller that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The character of Caesar is just so insane that you don't know where we're going to go, who's going to get killed, what's going to go down, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat, just glued to the screen, because you do get invested in these two women and wanting to see them get away from him, particularly, and this entire lifestyle. Christopher Maloney is also in this, looking good, I might add, and acting crazy as well. There are some brutal moments, some brutal kills here that you're just whoa! And it moves along. You get invested early, hooked into what it is you're watching, and then it never lets you up because you need to see their story play out all the way through to the end. And I think it's very successful in pretty much all of those departments. Plus, the Wachowskis themselves give it a really strong directorial effort, especially for a debut duo. The sisters really have a voice, and it's really prevalent. I think that they elevate the material with the directing style. Now, the script is one of the weaker parts. Not in the story, because I do think the story unfolds really well, and then they're able to direct the general direction of the story very well, actually. but it's in the dialogue. A lot of the dialogue gets a little bit clunky, and I think the actors struggle a little bit with delivering some of this dialogue. So some of the acting comes across just a bit stilted. Our characters do some things that make you like want to scream. You're like, oh no, get off the phone. But then they come around and do something completely smart, intelligent, and awesome, so you forgive it. I'm so glad I watched this film, Bound, a movie I had never seen, had hardly heard of, if I'm being honest. And now I think it's just a really fun, really exciting film to watch. And as I said, groundbreaking on many levels, honestly. It's a very brave film when you watch it. It pushed the envelope for a mid-90s movie. Really pushed the envelope with its same-sex relationship depiction and really just kind of had it there, normalized it, and was really brave in how it showcased the sexual acts themselves, but also the flirting, the whole romantic development I thought was really handled nicely. So that's it. That is my review. That is Stephanie. That is Miss Movie Chatter Stephanie's review of Bound. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to this channel as well as Movie Chatter so that you don't miss a single one of my Pride Month movie reviews. Also, join in on the discussion. Let's have a conversation. Have you seen the movie Bound? If you have, what are your thoughts? If you haven't, are you more intrigued after you've heard our thoughts? And maybe you'll seek it out for Pride Month this year. Let us know your overall thoughts of the film and this review in the comments down below, or you can hit either one of us up on Twitter and Instagram. I love you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!